Hello everyone. After an hour of recording, I realized my mic was mute, so I lost over an hour of footage and I was building this in Markdown. You can see the format, how I'm writing the tables. So now I'm just going to talk about the use case description briefly. We have a few. The first one is register. So when you register, if you're already registered, there's an alternative flow which shows an error message. And then when you log in, you have to not be logged in. So the precondition is user is not logged in. That's the same for the register as well, which means if you're logged in, you have to log out. And when you log in, the alternative flow is invalid credentials. The other one is manage account. So you must be logged in for this, and then the changes are going to be saved. The user first goes to the profile page and they change their information and it's updated. Publish post is about posting. The user is logged in and has no restrictions on postings, because if they were reported before, they could be restricted from activities like posting, liking, commenting. So the system is going to create the post and is going to notify connections. Archiving a post requires the post was created by the user. Interacting with the post means liking, commenting, sharing, and saving. So I forgot one more precondition here, which is user is not restricted. Also, in this, we want users who are not restricted only to interact with comments, which means replying to comments, liking comments. So the user has no restriction on interacting with posts, and then the UI should reflect the new interaction. That means if it's a like, you should see the likes going up, and the same for comments. The UI should show it. Buy connects, you can buy with card or manual payments, which is transferring to a bank account or another method like crypto. That means for alternative flow 2A, which is a manual payment, when user selects the number of connects they want to buy and their preferred payment method, which is either credit card or PayPal, which is automatic, but there's also option for manual payment. So if they choose the manual payment, we will come to here and we will ask for the screenshots after they submit, and then the system adds it to a queue for approval. That's going to be done by the admin. So if they have a problem with the manual payment or any other problem, they have an icon for contact support, and if it's in the manual payments page, they can continue from there. They don't need to find the icon. Submit an appeal is basically once you reported on or once your post is deleted, you can submit an appeal. Add connections, it's the same thing as LinkedIn connections. So for a new connection to be made, you need to have enough connects. That's how the platform is going to make money. Once you make the connection, the other user doesn't have to approve because you're basically paying for it, and the user is also going to receive the connects that you spent to connect with them. We can add it as number 4. So on number 4, the connects spent to connect are added to the other user's account. We can say the connects spent to create the connection. I think that's better wording. Okay, then once you are connected with a user, you can donate to them by seeing on one of their posts. You can have many many ways to receive the donations. So for a post, you can have bank account A. For another post, you can have bank account B. And the user who sees your first post is going to donate to bank account A, and you will know how the money came. You will know it's from the first post. So that's why the first thing is to find the user's post. You don't find the payment information on the profile. You find it in a post. You can chat with them either from the profile or from their posts, and you need to have a connection with a person. The same with donations, you need to be connected. Archive conversation, there must be a conversation, and there it must not be archived already. Sending post in chat is like sharing a post in the system itself, and you must have a connection with the user. Even if you have a chat with the user, doesn't mean you still maintain that connection, because a user can report on you and the connection can be undone. Even if you can see the chat in your chat history, we don't want you to communicate with that person, even if it's sending a post. Interacting with messages, it means when you're chatting, you can like or react to the user's message with emojis, or you can reply. So in order to do that, you still have to maintain a connection. You have search posts, which is kind of obvious, and search and view user profiles. It needs to be in the following format: at username, and while you're typing, it's supposed to show the suggestions. So it's going to be either from your connections, or it's going to rank based on how many connections they have. Then we have report posts. We have approved payments, which is by the admin. And the admin can say this is an invalid transaction. When they click on the payment to see the details and screenshot, they can decide the manual payment or the provided details and the screenshots are not legitimate. In that case, they're going to click on reject button. They type the reason and the payment is marked as rejected. We also notify the user. Or if it's actually a valid payment and they can see in the bank statements that there is a true incoming payment, then they can enter the transaction ID before approving. We want to store the transaction ID, and we don't want the user to be busy writing the transaction ID. So that's why it's done by the admin, and then the admin clicks on the approve button, payment is approved, the connects are added to the user's account. So once a user is reported on and their post is deleted, or they cannot chat with a person, or they have a restriction, then they can appeal. They can appeal from the notification that appears telling them they have been reported on, or they have been restricted. So we don't want to allow users to remove that notification. Probably it could be on top of their website everywhere they go in the website. So there's going to be an appeal button to submit an appeal, and the admin is going to see that appeal, and each appeal is going to be attached with a topic. They have a topic. Once you send an appeal and it's rejected, you can't send an appeal again on that same topic. So if the appeal is rejected, you can see here the user is not allowed to submit any more appeals on this topic. Otherwise, it's marked as accepted. We have moderate reported posts. We actually moderate not only the reported posts, but if an admin finds the posts harmful, they can report on it themselves. So it's not like they are reporting actually. They can just go into the moderation directly and decide to delete it. Otherwise, they can say it's resolved, which means The next time another admin sees it, we are letting them know that an admin has already gone through this process. The low priority queue that we have here is once a post is reported on and it's safe, then even if it's reported on again, it's not going to get the same priority as other reports. Decide reports is basically the same thing as decide appeal but for reports, and reports can be dismissed, which means we can say, hey, this is not valid report. It's basically saying resolved but for a report. Then we have restore report, which is for dismissed reports. That's why we have the report is dismissed, and then it's back in the queue again. If we restore it, it's going to await decision again, because one admin can say, hey, let's dismiss this report, it's safe, because they may have an agenda. But then if another admin finds that report true and finds the post to be harmful, or the user, if it's report on a user chat, then if one admin can say it's okay and another can say no, it's not okay, they can put it back in the queue and another admin could also decide on it. So that's it for the use case description. Thank you.